how long to wait before you reduce your home price that you put in the market.
Okay, but first, let's hit it. Hi, it's Alan Victoria. Welcome to our channel and podcast.
And if this is your first time in our podcast and YouTube channel, will subscribe and get notified.
And we get calls and texts all the time, 252-327-3357. So don't be shy, we love talking to you. So let's talk about how long do you have to wait before you have to reduce your price as a seller. Now, one of the major red flags is going to be if nearby comps are listed lower. I mean, that's already a sign that it's a little overpriced. Now, we understand sellers want to get as much profit as possible while still being competitive. So there's two factors. You want the most money, but you also have to take in the market consideration. So how you list your home at the price is a bit of an art, because you have to take into what buyers are looking for, the buyer's price point, and the sellers, of course, desire to have the most amount of money as possible. And you have to look at those comps to see what your neighbors are selling for. So what is nationwide?
Yeah, nationwide, they basically, statistics shows that 12.9% of the seller reduce their price of their home at least once.
So, and then the longer your home is on the market, the lower your odds are getting to sell it for actual list price, which is why it's so important that you price it at the right number, because if you go too low or too high, you're now going to sit on the market longer. Well, too low, people are going to think what's wrong with it. Too high, they're not even going to come see it because they don't want to buy it. So, because it's too high. So, those are two factors you have to take into play. So, what about that national data? You love data.
Yeah, according to the different websites like Realtor.com, Zillow, and the other places, I'm sorry?
And the MLS and
all MLS, they said that 50% of 57% of those sellers that accept an offer in the first week of putting their house in the market, they have the chance to sell their house with the list price.
Which is amazing. Congratulations. That's a good number. However, during the second week, it's going to drop to 39%.
To 50%.
To 50%. And then after that, 39, 32. And then at that point, it's very low. So, of course, if you're in a seller's market, your chances of getting your list price, no matter how long it sits, is going to be great. But the odds are you will not have as much money if it's not a seller's market, which is considering what's happening right now when we're filming this video. So what is the right time to start thinking about a price reduction?
Yes. When we wanted to answer this question, actually also we need to say what exactly caused that that we think of doing this, no?
Okay.
Therefore,
isn't the thing is, number one is about showing traffic, right?
Yes.
If the traffic is coming or they have stopped coming, there's a sign that there is a problem right there. You're just not getting the foot traffic. What's another sign?
Yeah, that you have a good traffic, but you're getting a lowball offers for your place.
Okay, so that is another sign that you're overpriced. Another one is that you have good traffic, but you get a lot of negative basically feedback that, for example, the buyers come and they say, hey, they comment about the price that we think the price is very high. That actually happened to our first home that we sold, to be honest, right? We wanted it a certain number, but our neighbor had such trash in their yard. Even though our house was great, we still had to, in the backyard, you could see over the fence and see the disaster of the next door. And this caused people to be upset with us, where we had good traffic, but negative reactions because of our neighbor.
Exactly. Therefore, these are some ways, these 3 ways, you know that you need to consider price reduction. But
before you do that, we do have some marketing steps that make sure that you are doing all of you can to get the most amount of money. So that is what we're going to talk about now, the marketing strategy, no?
Or you make sure that you rule out any doubts that you have, basically, no?
Right. So number 1 is going to be loading amazing photos and videos of that house. Low quality photos that are dark, or even worse, no photos at all, are going to make it not worth the money. You're not going to get the foot traffic. Consider adding drone photos, 3D home tours, Things to give people a better sense of how that house walks. So when they walk around the house, they would get a better sense of it. What's another thing that they should be doing?
Make sure you present your house online very complete, and when we say complete is about the description.
Your description has to be twofold. It has to be enticing for people to want to come out of their house on a Tuesday night in the rain and go check out your house, because it's something that they might just desire right now, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you need to make sure that description is on point. And I see some amazing houses listed in my own MLS, and then they just have a list of all the good things about the house, but there's nothing drawing the attention to bring it there. So it's an art form. Make sure that you are online person, and if you're not drawing traffic based on the online description, switch it, have it changed. Make sure that the wording is correct so it brings people to your door, which is what you want as a seller.
Yes. The third things that we wanted to ask, make sure that you list your home in all the places that you can think of or your agent can think of.
Right. So you want to make sure if you're a for sale by owner, you are definitely getting into many places as off thing. If you are with a real estate agent, they're going to already have put you on the MLS, which is going to then put you on Zillow, all the websites that you might not even be thinking about, like that you don't even go to. And then of course you want to make sure that it's being posted on social media all the time.
Yes. And what is the next one, number 4?
4 is something that the internet age kind of forgets about once in a while, is prominent signs. So 55% of Zillow agents still say that people found their home by looking at a sign in a neighborhood that they desire. So
Yes.
make sure that the signs are visible, seen, and it's not just internet shoppers out there. Though most of us are internet shoppers, not everybody's an internet shopper. And so make sure you have good signage out there so people know what it is.
And the next one is basically addressing your buyer's feedback. Like if you have an agent that you listed your home, definitely ask the agent after each showing to basically get the feedback from the buyer's agent and the buyer, no?
Right, 100%. So, and then if there is something constructive on there, something's happening in that house, you need to address it so it's no longer happening. I'm sorry. So for instance, in one of our houses that we listed, for whatever reason, the water got turned off in that house, so the whole house smelled like someone went to the bathroom in that house, even though nobody even lived in the house, but somebody took the bathroom, which made the whole house stink. Once we figured out what the problem was, we addressed it, got the water turned back on, the house actually sold the next day. So, I mean, it's just sometimes it's a very simple thing.
Now, let's do when you made sure that you did all this marketing and now you don't have any doubt that the price needs to be reduced or adjusted. Now we have a strategy for price reduction.
Now, number 1, if the house attendance is not coming anymore, it is significantly dropped off after those first few weeks. It is time. Let's be honest. You've done all these steps and you're not getting the offers that you want. It's time to start thinking about it. What's the next one? Be realistic.
Be realistic. Yeah.
What does that mean?
Be realistic means that discuss what is what.
Discuss with your agent what the new lower price will be, and make sure that you are comfortable with that price. Maybe you do end up wanting to stay in the house, but you have to make sure that you know what your lowest offer that you can possibly take and successfully move on from that sale to wherever it is you want to be, which is, again, something that's happened to us in the past. So we know how that feels when we're being told, hey, we have to lower that price.
Yes, and the next one is only reduce the price once. Therefore, this is what we should do in this way.
Nobody likes price cuts. Sellers are often inclined just to do a little bit at a time, but the problem with this strategy, by multiple small reductions, it's going to take a couple of them for buyers to actually take notice that this is something that they want to see. Yeah. So all you're doing is taking a longer step in longer house. That house is going to sit there longer.
Exactly.
Another thing my husband wants to see is you want to see what the other sellers are doing in your neighborhood.
Yes.
So you want to always stay up on that data of what is going on in your local 0.25, 0.5, or however, wherever your house is, how close it is in the same community, in the neighboring community. You need to know what's going on with the other houses. So let's talk about that last thing. The average price cut is how much?
2.9%.
And that's just an average data. It depends, of course, on how much your house should be selling for based on that data. So I hope this video was helpful.
And see you on the next podcast and video.
See you soon.